Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check, brought to you by BB. There is no second best live YouTube stream to talk about the markets. Welcome back, guys. Happy Wednesday. We head into the second half of the week here pretty soon. And, unfortunately, since Monday, we haven't gotten too much clarity as far as what direction this market wants to take. Are we just going to remain in this max pain range for Bitcoin for an extended period of time? Who knows? We're going to talk about that and then some on today's episode of Market Check. Welcome. I'm Snorlax. You guys also know me as Tommy, joined by Tucker, Max, and of course, Chef Jackus. Welcome, guys, and welcome to the audience as well. Before we can start cooking on Bitcoin, equities, Ethereum, obviously, and everything in between, right? Some of your favorite tickers. If you have anything that you'd like us to take a look at, drop it in the comment section. We can see if we can look at it throughout the show. But yeah, we always appreciate when you guys can hit that like button for us. And ultimately, the more that you guys are able to do that, the more we're able to continue bringing you this content throughout the week, throughout the month, and throughout the year. But yeah, let's talk about the market, Bitcoin, equities, because we really don't have, we're kind of getting a pump today. We dumped, I want to say, on Monday. There's not really too much to discern from what we're seeing right now. Alts have been weaker than Bitcoin for the most part over the last few weeks, but we've kind of seen this divergence here over, I think, the last probably like 5 or 6 days or week. I guess I could just say that, or rather the last week, where alts on a relative basis have not been selling as aggressively. Is that a sign of a local bottom? That's typically what we see from alts before that's the case. Are we potentially looking to trade deeper before that happens? But what we do know, right, is what I just said. Alts are showing a little bit of divergence here, which makes sense. A lot of them are beginning to trade into significant levels of demand, while Bitcoin and ETH continue to just be buoyed by this massive bid that's come from Treasury companies, from the TradFi markets. And there's really just, it's almost like this duality for ETH that for a long time existed just for Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance. We're seeing it now for ETH and ETH dominance as well, where altcoins are kind of just bleeding against their ETH pairs. But I will say that in and of itself is a pretty significant shift from what we were talking about even just a year ago. So have to think we're getting closer to that order of operations that involves more speculative risk being put on the table. Is that in Q4? Is that in the next few weeks? Like I said, we're going to discuss that with you guys today. But how are we doing, guys? Obviously, the market's a little bit choppy here today. We kind of had our volatile move. It was over the weekend and Monday, right? I'm not just going crazy in this like time compression that we seem to be trading in all the time in crypto, and we lack volatility. How are we viewing the market right now, and how are we viewing kind of the rest of August?
I think we're gonna pump, we're gonna dump, and then we're gonna pump again in this order.
In that order, you say? Okay. So let's see. So there.
No, I said pump, dump, and pump.
No, okay. Wait. Like that? That's it?
Yeah, I think no one would survive this mentally.
Yeah.
No, smaller. The last arrow, you can keep that one, but the ones in between will be smaller.
Let's get a bit more. So maybe pump, little high sweep. There. How's that?
Not really.
More exaggerated.
Yeah, and I think the move up will be smaller. I think some assets will sweep their current lows, and then we're going to rip to new highs.
One more sweep, Jackus.
Sweep of highs, sweep of lows, and then sweep of highs. But not a sweep. No. The third, I take it back. The third will be break. Sweep of highs, sweep of lows, break of highs.
I like it.
Yeah. I think some coins still look horrendous. But I think BTC and ETH looks amazing, and I think they got pretty oversold here on this recent leg down. And I think we still look very positive for the rest of the year. But we got a temporary pause. That pause is playing out, and as I said, I'm not expecting much from August.
Yeah, what's the monthly candle look like?
I think the bigger thing for August is just that price isn't nuking, right? Like it can go sideways, but it needs to, some of these altcoins need to stop nuking their market structures.
Yeah, some look, as I said, some look horrendous. So yeah, Max Payne.
I'm so bored, Jackus. It's a sign. I'm so bored. I've been scalping ES futures.
I mean, that's a good thing. And I've posted it a few times that every single time crypto bros move from crypto to trade equities and Forex, then it's usually a sign that the bottom is either there or near.
Had to be done. I crave my volatility.
Dopamine receptors not getting stimulated enough.
When trend on anything other than ETH?
Yeah. No, we got the move everyone wanted, which is ETH moving in July, but alts haven't really caught up. But I think it's a good thing that ETH, as the king of alts, is moving right now. Let it do its thing, and then I'm not worried alts will catch up.
Yeah, ETH still looks pretty good here, honestly.
It does. Like
Still
there is
still in a range.
Still in a range. Time to pull up the 25-year-old technical analyzer.
Yeah, still in a range.
I have a feeling ETH is just going to be very difficult to trade for the next few weeks.
What if it just goes straight up in a straight line?
That would be better.
Yeah.
We would all wish that, but we know there are certain entities that doesn't like that. They like more ranges and sweep of highs and sweep of lows.
I think I speak on behalf of all of us on the panel and those in the audience when I say fuck them. Straight up in a straight line.
You do.
So
I speak on behalf of everybody.
And they watch the show and they're like, all right, one more month of range for you.
Like, what did he just say about us? He doesn't like us manipulating the price every single week? What?
There you go.
Verticality will be studied.
There we go. I don't know. It feels like we're just in a kind of wait and see window. Like at least on Azur's market structure looks fine. You know, this looks fine.
Honestly, this all looks so bad here, man.
No,
like
it doesn't, Jack. It looks fine.
No, it looks it wants to go lower first.
I wasn't gonna say it, but
I
could be the first person to FUD Soul.
I couldn't. 60.
I gotcha, man. I gotcha.
As long as we're above 160, I think it's fine. Well, lower time frame didn't look quite as good as what I was looking at.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Sol is going to do some sort of like high time frame stair step up, or if it's going to maybe start to gravitate back towards the range lows for some sort of pit roll. Shout out Dr. Outlook. If it's going to do some sort of like larger pit roll down at range lows, I can't decide. But I am bearish on Sol BTC, obviously. So it's going to come down to what Bitcoin's going to do. You know, if Bitcoin is showing any weakness at all, you're probably going to get Sol USD keep puking back towards range lows. And if Bitcoin's going to move up, Sol will probably move up and then retrace most of its pump fairly quickly in just like this slow grind, super cucked fashion, if I had to guess. But obviously, and this is something that, you know, conceptually we've talked about a lot before, that doesn't mean that there's not things going on chain on Solana. Like Troll, for example, which is a meme I completely faded, I'll be honest. Just ripped like a 10 or 15x into like, I think 200 million market cap. So, you know, something that you could size and played out pretty aggressively. Beeple tweeted about Troll, man. I mean, how long has it been since Beeple top ticked a ticker in crypto?
2021, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I think Sol Bitcoin could bottom here. You know, I think it's possible. She's trying, you know, she's trying.
I think it's bullish for the market if Sol BTC keeps going down, man.
You think so?
Yeah. I think what really needs to happen here is that we need fundamental assets to go up. People need to believe again. People need to get rich again. And then people can hyper gamble their newly generated wealth again. That's the nature of things. Yeah.
I think the main issue with the wealth effect right now is that obviously it's going to be bigger for ETH than for Bitcoin when it goes up, but it's just like the market psyoped so many people out of holding ETH and into higher beta that wealth curve is definitely taking, I think, a little bit longer to occur. This is something that we've talked about on this show a lot, but
yeah.
You know, I'm not quite sure what that level is going to be for ETH. I have to imagine there's just going to be a broader wealth effect simply from opportunity on chain when we start to see ETH and ETH DeFi really pick back up again on chain. I don't think that's never going to happen again, which I would say is the counter argument why a lot of people are still on Sol, but it's a slow moving process. And ETH Bitcoin kind of highlights how this occurs. I've talked about this before. If you kind of like paste DeFi ETH charts with ETH Bitcoin, you can see it illustrated pretty clearly that when DeFi really starts to pump, you get that liquidity just flowing through ETH on chain. It's less of, okay, people have this money to spend, they're going to start aping meme coins. That's not usually how ETH on chain is functioned. It kind of did in 2023 in the summer, but for the most part, that ETH on chain liquidity is going to flow through DeFi first and then move down the risk curve. So it's kind of like completely different than what we see on Solana. And yes, it will probably take a longer period of time for that to happen, but it kind of goes back to what we've been saying, that a lot of these DeFi charts, ETH BTC, look like they've just began a new cycle rather than potentially coming to the end of one. And I think the only thing that would make me think that we are coming to the end of a cycle would be if you saw ETH BTC go vertical here over the next few months.
Yeah. You're just afraid you're going to owe me a steak, Tommy. I know what this is about.
I would be fine with ETH BTC going vertical.
I can feel the insecurity of that with me.
Would you say 0.06?
Yeah. 0.06.
Yeah.
Put it in log mode for me.
Always.
Yeah, it looks a lot closer that way.
Does.
Yeah.
If you're here.
That downtrend on ETH BTC looks just like so much more aggressive on log.
Yeah.
There are definitely some structural similarities to ETH with ETH BTC to 2017 and 2018. So I can't rule that out, but I almost feel like the ship as a whole takes so much force to move that it's unlikely we see ETH BTC rally that hard that quickly. But again, if it does, I'm not going to complain. And I just think it makes sense to be long ETH adjacents right now more than, Bitcoin adjacents.
What ETH related stocks would you be looking to buy, guys?
I'm really not super familiar with the Treasury company trade.
What is it?
I think there is right now there is only SBET and Bitmine.
Oh my goodness.
Is it? What is it?
It should be the top one.
Should be the top one.
Oh, okay. I see. Oh, I'm on the weekly. Okay. That's when they announced whatever, right? What did they announce? They were going to buy ETH.
Yeah, that they'll become the ETH Treasury company, and then Bitmine did the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if there is more. I suppose still the best. Well, it's really hard to value these, right? Because how do you do that exactly? Its price moves aren't even correlated to ETH yet, and I suppose the best one is still Coinbase stock. Yeah.
Yeah, probably Coin.
You can type in BMNR.
Oh, wow.
They just recently announced. Yeah, but
These are
again,
tough stocks to get a grasp on. I'll be honest. Can you overlay GameStop stock after its mega squeeze on that, Tucker?
With this?
Oh boy.
Yeah, I want to see something. I have no idea if it's gonna fit. I promise. Usually I have something in my object tree already. I don't have anything this time. I actually
Talking about the 2021? Or are you talking about?
Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna trade like a sped up version of that.
Can I do yeah.
Oh my.
That is an interesting chart. Dude, some of these like crypto stocks just look so funny. Like they just
Okay.
Maybe you're gonna have to stretch it out a bit.
Yeah. So do you think this is like the first thing? Or you think that spike?
I don't know.
I think it's like yeah. Oh god, this is
I would say my object tree is not as high signal right now as it
Tommy,
usually
come on.
is. And that as much as I'd like it to be, it's not as high signal right now.
I've seen his object tree. It's just fine. He's downplaying his object tree. There's some horror. There's like some things of nightmares in there that you guys don't want to see, but there's also some roads to glory. Okay.
We got to keep it. Got to keep it fair. You get a little bit of both.
I wonder if should we like gate access to your object tree, Tommy? Like, can we build something? Someone can pay like $5 per object tree view. You know. Whoa.
I mean, I'd be okay with that.
whoa, what was that?
That was apparently a thumbs down. I don't know what that was.
What?
You see the thing that went on Max's screen?
No.
It was weird. It was like a thumbs down.
StreamYard doing something.
Doing something.
Prometheus just messaged me and said, turn that fractal backwards. Even like this.
Dude, what is Bearmetheus doing? If he wants to talk, get him on stream. Where's Bearmetheus right now?
Bear me.
Watching market check? Bearmetheus.
Turn that fractal back.
Come on.
That's a great nickname.
But,
I was talking to him earlier this week about, I just feel like things are so path dependent right now. And that's why I also kind of feel like my object tree is very low signal at the moment. It's just, I could see so many different things happening over the next few weeks, but I'm going to just kind of lean into what I think I know at the moment, or like kind of what I'm just trading. I will say, there are some structural similarities between altcoins in 2022, but I want to point out the key distinction. And this is kind of something I've been talking about throughout the week. The main drivers and it's never going to be the same, right? But if we're comparing things to 2021, we do kind of need to use similar priors. What ended the 2022 or the 2021 bull market? And like from a correlation standpoint, it was the dollar moving higher, and it was yields really spiking. And I don't think yields could potentially spike from growth. But I don't think it's quite the same because you had this like marauding uptrend for yields or from yields for the entirety of 2022. And the same thing for DXY. I'm not bullish on the dollar at all. I actually think it's getting ready to leg down again.
Look at him. Look at him. He just joined. Short chin.
Oh man,
he just doxed his own chin. Bearmetheus, what are you doing?
No, that's all the bear larpers chins.
Okay, define bear larping for me real quick.
Bear larper.
So typically when you go to certain recreational parks, there might be a few individuals dressed up, prancing, skipping and jumping through the fields. I'm not one of those. I am full port short right now.
Dude, you gave into that feminine urge to just short the bull market, didn't you?
No, I'm not full port short. I'm cautious. That's all I am.
Cautious.
So
there's got to be a meme about Prometheus right now, like, always hedge, sleeps well at night. I make money either way. That's him right now.
Always cautious.
Cautious. No, I think we do like 118 BTC and then it's a good short opportunity.
Bro, if we flip 118, we're flying to new highs. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of liquidity stacked up to like 120 right now. But I think 118 is definitely a good spot for super tight validation on a short.
Bearmetheus. Crazy. So
I think what I'm really curious to see is how equities fit into the picture here.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, dude, you look at this DXY chart. Like, which way is this chart going? This looks like a horrible breakdown. That's in like the early stages of like chop solidating below a 2-year-long range to me.
Yeah.
That thing looks like it's going to 80, looks terrible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pride.
Yeah. I mean, my bearishness too is only momentary, I will say. My bearishness is only momentary.
Like
so you're going to be Bullmetheus pretty soon again.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking for probably like mid to end of September for some really, really good buying opportunities in the market. I mean, obviously people on chain have been slaughtering it lately. Like you've been in some of those new tickers on chain, like Bucky, Billy, what we've been covering in the Discord. I mean, you've been killing it. Bucky, I think Wabi called it in our Discord at like 400K market cap, hit like 40 mil. So, but I mean, yeah, they're driving the dollar lower. I mean, that's been very, very apparent. And what's going to rise alongside that, interestingly enough, with dollar devaluation is going to be silver and gold. Both of those assets are going to do very, very well.
Yeah,
The
Jack.
This will be Prometheus.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jackus, do you think that anybody out there remembers your gold and silver analysis from like 2 years ago? Do you think anybody remembers?
Probably nobody.
Yeah. You know what I might do though is I might take those charts and then tweet them and be like, I called this and get all the engagement, you know.
I think it would work.
You think so?
this is
Yeah,
what
I said decade of commodities.
No,
not
no,
Jackus, okay? I said it. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm going to be the one buying an energy plant, so I'm the real commodity
energy plant.
bull. Yeah, I'm going to take all my crypto profits and I'm just going to go buy a power grid,
Soybean.
and that way I've cornered the market on energy and commodities.
I thought you were
That's
about to
expensive.
say like a nuclear reactor in your backyard. And I was like, Chernobyl and Prometheus'
I like
backyard.
take you guys in the back. I take you guys into the barn. I'm like, guys, check it out. Just have like a nuclear reactor in the barn.
What? Oh my gosh.
I think I know the next coin on Sol that's going to pull a troll, but I'm going to keep it to myself until after the stream.
Keep it in the object.
The gatekeeper.
What?
Bro, there is no universe in which silver doesn't trade at 150 in the next few years.
Mhm.
There's going to be serious repricing to the upside.
The chart looks absolutely insane.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
You know what that chart kind of looks like, actually?
I
It's
know.
Monero.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
No way.
It kind of looks like XMR.
Oh wait.
You need to use the.
Yeah.
Yes, he's learning.
Yes. There we go. Kind of. I think silver looks better, but you know.
I think both will break to the upside.
Yeah.
I think JP Morgan is the largest holder.
Of silver?
Yes.
Of like physical silver or paper? It's probably paper.
I think they inherited as I'm not remember the company, and I'm sure someone can help me in the comments. But during the 2012-13, they inherited one company, or inherited. Well, they bought it for a cheap price, and then they were like short hedging while accumulating spot. And I think they might be unloading those short hedges. I think they might even be holding like half of world supply, if I'm not mistaken.
Half of the world's supply?
Yes.
Oh my
What?
god.
They have a lot.
Honey, you
Who
have
is
to
it?
send them to different wallets. The blockchain is getting scared.
That's crazy. They have half the world supply.
Who is this?
JP Morgan.
JP Morgan professional supply bundlers.
Oh my gosh.
Dude.
Jamie Dimon.
It is a ridiculous looking chart though.
Like
Looks really good.
like it kind of does make sense though. Imagine it, right? You are such a big entity with so much liquidity. Well, there aren't that many charts where you can park lots of it, and at the same time, people not caring about the chart. And then this one is it. It can give you so many multiples. And I think if you're gonna look at the JPM stock, it kind of does make sense, because when they do hold so much, plus at the same time they have secured themselves to be issuing the stable coins on ETH now, it seems like they'll be winning a lot. The bankers will win once again.
Speaking of bankers,
Can you put
this
JPM
chart,
on?
yeah, that chart looks a lot like banker coin for some bullish opium for the silver bulls.
Dude, JPM looks
JPM
insane.
looks insane, man.
That looks like somebody knows what's going to happen with silver.
And market liquidity.
Is this what you're talking about, Prometheus?
Yeah, I don't. That is not the right chart.
Yeah, that's the one on base.
Yeah.
USD. There.
Yeah, if you go on like the daily on banker, it looks very similar to kind of. If you go on the daily, it looks pretty similar to silver on the weekly.
Pop my bags.
Yeah,
my shitcoin.
Buy my shitcoin.
Tommy, you were saying all the financials look insane, weren't you?
Mhm.
Yes. I feel
Like-
like it's a sector of the market that like nobody is talking about right now.
Well, what was the
How can you think we're going into a recession when financials will look like this? As long as they're above their previous all-time highs, and this isn't just some sort of short covering eventual deviation back below the highs, like why would I be bearish on financials right now?
All right,
and
so
signaling that liquidity is coming into the market.
sorry to cut you out, Tommy. I just fact checked, and yeah, it's JP Morgan held around 112 to 133 million of troy ounces of silver, which is approximately 50 to 53% of all registered silver inventory at COMEX.
Jeez.
It's nuts.
Wild.
So I remembered well.
What was it?
Yeah, as I said, I cannot remember the fact that nobody in the chat knew about that. That says a lot. But they inherited one company during that 2012 bear market on silver, and they were basically again short on futures and then accumulating spot the entire bottom. And I think they've accumulated enough, and they are now unloading the shorts on the way up, and they're gonna they are going to massively profit.
Mhm.
And then they will unload. Again, they are not looking to unload at like $40. They are looking to unload like way higher, man. It's a risk-free trade for them right now.
Is there a bank better position right now than JPM? I mean, just like liquidity's coming into the market. They're huge on silver. They're huge on stable coins, presumably before most of these other bigger banks. Seems like they're big on ETH, which is fairly early cycle. JPM. Yeah, JPM. Get on board with much higher targets for that stock.
It seems like you might just have to ape in all-time highs here.
Yeah. Who was it, Suzu, that said the dirty little secret of trading is that most money has been made by buying new highs?
I do not know who said that, but yeah. I mean, Warren Buffett, one of the best trades, right, is buying Apple 10 years after a run up from the lows. So
What are your thoughts on Apple, by the way? I want to get everybody's thoughts on Apple.
Trying to load Tesla right now.
What's going on with your trading group?
Wow, big bounce from Apple.
Yeah. Tesla.
I'm not sure what to like. I might go different way around Apple Prometheus. SPX.
It looks horrible compared to the rest of the majors, I will say.
SPX have been, hitting new all-time highs. But if you were to erase the top 10 companies, which Apple is part of, then the SPX 490 has actually been trading sideways for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think the trade isn't that Apple is going to go down in price. It's just that the percentage of the overall allocation of those 10 companies in SPX is going to reduce. So it's the trade is to move your allocation from the top 10 into, I'm not saying necessarily the entirety of the rest of SPX, but I think others will play a catch-up game here.
I agree. And if you take SPX divided by Russell, that's the true like alpha shitcoin indicator.
Yeah.
It's like we need that to send.
No, we need this to go down.
Or well, we need that pair to
depends how-
drop. We need the Russell to drop, or the Russell to.
No, here's what it is. It's
Depends what you're gonna put first. Yeah.
it's this.
Yeah, exactly.
The Russell over QQQ. That's what I like to look at. And
I mean, it looks worse than ETH BTC.
really, really bad. Yeah. But all you need is like one of these, like this.
Yeah, just a little something.
You know, like that was on the market.
Just give us a little something.
Yeah, like
I'm not that bearish on Apple. Actually, the chart.
I'm bearish on them not innovating. They need to do something with that company. And I think
are they not innovating though? I kind of want to push back on that a little bit. I feel like their products are actually, they're not innovating with new products, but their current products, from people who I know who understand it much better than me, they're very optimistic about Apple's tech and how it's being digested going forward. The quality is actually improving pretty significantly. I don't hate the look of the Apple chart.
So
I kind of did a few weeks ago, but
have you heard of the Apple goggles, Tommy?
So we
the
have
speed goggles. Let me explain to you. Let me share how I view Apple.
Yeah.
Apple is very clearly and has been risk off, not their stock, but risk off in terms of innovation for like a decade now. Okay. What they're leaning into is super low risk products, creating an ecosystem that people cannot escape from. Like once you start using it, it's impossible to fully get away from it. Like if you have been using Apple for business like me for a decade, the hurdle to overcome leaving their ecosystem will cause you to never ever want to leave, right? I'm so trapped.
Totally.
It's disgusting. They have me by the ball. Okay. I'm not going anywhere.
I love how you use the singular.
Yes. This is a safe space for those that don't have two
I knew
balls.
it was coming too.
Maybe they had you by the other one and now you can escape.
They have a looser grip. There's not as much to grab onto. That could be it.
Way too much.
But it's just like, dude, if I'm being honest, like I have been completely underwhelmed by Apple's innovation and creativity for 5 years plus now. I've been waiting for them to do anything, and they just continue to recycle the same designs and claim that they're changing the game all over again. But it doesn't matter, because every couple of years I need to get a new phone because the old one starts to get slow and the battery dies. And they claim they're not doing anything, but they clearly are. I noticed the performance, and I use it for business, and I'll never stop because it's just such a pain in the ass. My dirty fantasy is buying like a Samsung like flip phone kind of thing, you know. That's what I fantasize about. Like that's my dirty fantasy, is like leaving Apple, but I can't. So the chart's going to keep going up. So I don't know. They're getting lapped in creativity, but they're doing such a good job in like requiring people to never leave that they're going to keep going up. So
yeah, I agree with that. And like, I know they're trying to get in the EV sector as well. I know that they're trying to kind of push the boundary. I will say, what I do like about Meta, for instance, specifically, is like Zuck is like pushing the envelope. Like he pulled in his board of directors and was like, guys, Facebook is losing virality. Like, what do we need to do? And there's not there's zero complacency in Meta versus like Apple, for instance. And I get like Apple's margins are insane. I get like, I mean, we have 3 Apple Maxis on the board here, and then we have 2 PC enjoyers. And and I mean, I will say, like, I love my rainbow, computer that lights up and flashes colors at me. And that I can, get
That
new.
doesn't sound very endearing.
Dude, I love it, and I can get new parts and plug and play. But Apple, I just like, at what point does somebody come along and just do it better? At this point, you know what I'm saying?
Nobody's done it though.
How can you do it
their
better?
operating
like
system,
win.
They basically
the Apple
have
operating system is just so good, bro. It's so good, but they're not taking any risks, dude. They're just becoming a bank. Like they're just so big. If they start taking risk, hey, look at what happened to Meta when they started announcing like they were getting more into what is it, like
Metaverse.
augmented reality and stuff like that. And,
Yeah.
and like, dude, their stock nuked because like Wall Street was viewing it as risky, and now look at it, it's paying out. But Apple doesn't want to see, dude, like Wall Street doesn't want to see Apple start to get cute. They just want them to stick with what they're doing, increase their margins a little bit, it's just the straight and narrow, and it's a great product, but they're just not, there's nothing sexy about it. Like, let's be honest, dude, I have the iPhone 15 or whatever. It's the exact same shit, more or less, as like every new phone that's come out since then. It's
So
just
the iPhone 20, the whole back of the camera or the whole back of the phone is going to be a camera. Like the entire back of the
do
phone is
something,
gonna be a camera.
all they've done is just like they make it a little faster, they make the camera a little bit better, they use the
Add
same
4
body
more
style every
cameras.
single time, and all that they've done recently is they made Apple speed goggles, and no one's going to use that shit
Hey,
for $4,000.
hey,
Tucker bought them and
Wait.
he's used them 3 times. That's it.
His diamond goggles.
Look top right
Do you
corner.
want to know why? Do
Look
you
top
want to
right
know why
corner.
that no one will use the Apple speed goggles? Because you look like such a freak wearing them. Like you look like such a complete freak.
Max, look top right corner, please.
that's true.
Tucker looks like a Giga Chad, but the only good part about Tucker's purchase is we have that picture. Other than that, he burned the money, but it's fine. That picture is worth $3,500 to me.
Yeah, they're gonna be a relic one day, bro.
I'll take the contrarian stance. I think Apple stock is going way higher from here.
I think.
Oh
so.
no, Tommy. Let me just be clear. I think Apple's going higher. I'm just as an Apple user myself, I'm disappointed with their lack of creativity. They don't take any risks. You see, like, dude, look at the phones that Huawei is making, man. Like, oh my goodness, so much cooler than what Apple's doing. Steve Jobs is turning in his grave at what Apple's doing right now. Turning in his grave.
Well,
Those Huawei.
Jobs was always about like, let's look what everyone is doing and let's think different and let's innovate. And it seems that ever since he died, there was like this flywheel after where like his legacy kept going, but slowly dying. And now it's been a few years and now they are kind of stuck. But I do think that they have this really good network effect, which you discussed. And I think security is also a big part where they can like dominate, because they have a very secure, and obviously there's been some leaks as well, but that's been like in everything. But generally, it seems that it's very convenient again for people to use it and feel secure. They have the same, they create their own hardware and software, and like again, as Prometheus said, I enjoy my custom-made PC where I build my own, or like I plug in my own parts. It's all lightning and stuff. But that's for very few people. and people like when things are simple, when things are easy to use, and when it's secure. And I think that security part, especially going into the future, when your digital identity is going to be monetized so much, is going to be huge. So, but at the same time, regarding the stock price, I think what I said, I think the top 10 SPX companies, which Apple is a part of, is they simply hold too much allocation historically compared to the rest, and historically all of these oscillated through the time, and so the upside for the top 10 companies is limited compared to the rest. So I think when it comes to the stock, I think the stock will continue to go up, but I think the rest will go up more from here. And I agree that they do have a lack of innovation pretty much, but that convenience, network effect, and security could be big. After all, IBM's been around. Like, can you put IBM stock there, right? Zoom out, and like you can put them monthly, right? And like, if you're gonna look at this stock, IBM has not been sexy since the 80s, and yet, when you look at its stock, it's keeps going up. They are still around, and they are the least sexiest, computer or business machines company there is. So I think Apple is going to be here for a long time, and its stock will go up. But we have to talk about the relative pair performance.
Well, Jackus, interestingly enough, you mentioned IBM being the least sexy computing company, but they're actually the leader in the quantum computing space. Like, they are by far head and shoulders above every other quantum name in the industry.
But you say Apple or IBM?
IBM.
Oh, okay.
He said IBM, but if you remember the 80s, they've been far ahead of everyone in personal computers too. But since they are so unsexy about it, right? They do not know how to, I suppose, deliver it to the customers, and they just kind of are like, I do not know how to put it, so I prefer not to continue. But but my take is that
if I speak big trouble.
Yeah, I could insult someone. So, and I do not want to do that today. So, let's just say that they might be ahead of others right now, but in the future, there's going to be some more sexy new company, Apple style, that will pop up and take the spotlight, in my opinion.
I think Apple's going higher. That's my takeaway.
Well,
mainly because I don't want to dwell on the
with
conversation too long or oversimplify it. I just think basically the one thing that we've all kind of discussed is the brand of Apple, and that's going to persist. And I think keep it relevant. But IBM is a good comparison because IBM had the chance, I think it was in the 80s or the 90s. I'm not as well versed on this history, but I want to say that they kind of, similar to how people are viewing Apple right now, they kind of took their foot off the accelerator a little bit, and they've been surpassed by other companies. So maybe that's how Apple goes eventually, but I think as long as we're not about to go into like a multi-year recession, depression, I think Apple is gonna. That to me looks a lot like the structure on something like the NASDAQ before the tech bubble. So we'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah. We'll see. I kind of feel like the VIX should give a bounce here since we're on the topic of equities.
Tommy, you couldn't help yourself.
I'm going to say something controversial. I hope it's not the case. There are some minor similarities in the market between now and like July of last year that I'm trying to ignore, but I'm keeping an eye on just in case. As somebody who's been chasing volatility to trade,
Let's see your object here, Tommy.
Let's not. Let's not. I mean, I don't have a ton of conviction in this thesis. I was just kind of looking at this yesterday, actually. But like the VIX doesn't exactly look that bullish yet either. So, you know, I don't want to just ape puts.
I don't think the downtrend in the VIX is quite done yet. You know, it was going sideways back here.
I do think it's pretty different.
Yeah.
Also would have to have different drivers, right? Because USD JPY doesn't, you know, it's not trading at range highs. It doesn't look like it's about to rip down, at least not to me.
That was crazy, dude.
Yeah, it was.
That was insane. Right here. Yeah, right there. Yeah.
I think this has more chopping to do. Maybe even, but I like, the thing is, I'm just not bullish on the dollar. So it's kind of an interesting push pull, I feel like, between the dollar and the yen, because the dollar looks so bad, but at the same time, you can't have it look so bad that you're nuking through 140 on this pair, because then there's going to be some big risk unwinds, or they're going to have to do something to defend support again, which could happen. I mean, let's be honest. This is kind of like the financially engineered chart.
Yeah.
In TradFi. I don't know why I just got like fart coin vibes looking at that chart.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
What do you guys think, by the way, of the fact that lots of people were like, yeah, Fartcoin, that's like the most hilarious, stupid name there is. And then we have like useless now, right? And we have few others. So where do you think, do you think it's just further dispersed liquidity?
I still feel like Fartcoin's going to do well. I haven't looked at useless, honestly. But
there are a few others like that, like a stupid name meme on Sol, because previously it was like Fartcoin, like, yeah, that's so stupid that everyone will bid it and it's going to go up and it's going to be on CNBC. But now there is like useless, and I think there are a few others.
I mean, it should have been pretty apparent that when you had, money managers talking about Fartcoin on legacy media, that Fartcoin was probably topped.
At least locally topped, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, and I think more so the Fartcoin chart is just kind of showing how thin liquidity is on Solana. I think that's more so. I think it's less so about it being, a bad project or a bad meme or, anything else. I think it's very much so more centered around like on-chain liquidity on Solana is so thin right now. And that's why Bucky actually caught me by surprise. I wasn't expecting the move that Bucky, had to do what it did. Just because if you look at Solana, like nothing's really been able to trend. But it's kind of how I'm like looking at it right now.
What do you think of the fact that Bucky, like, I know that it's quite an accomplishment that it ran to 50 million, but at the same time, and it can still go higher, but at the same time, you could think like, oh, it only went to 50 million, because back in the day, coins like these would go to like 1 billion or something, right? Like a year ago when Solana was in full hype. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's only been out for 2 weeks. Like, it's a super, super new name, but I get what you're saying. Like the inability to sustain market cap is very real on Solana right now.
It's true. but Fartcoin went in 90 days. It went to 2.6 billion in 90 days. Right?
I know.
Yeah, that's insane.
Does that tell us that truly people are out of money now?
I mean, I think that so much liquidity has just been drained from Solana.
Yeah,
it was.
It's just too
Literally.
concentrated now. You have it very, very like the pump fund metrics. You had like 1% of people actually making money. Like
it had to be less. It had to be less.
Or it was like 100,000. It was like 100,000 wallets, maybe not even that. Maybe like it was 10,000 out of like millions and millions had actually made money on Pump Fund. It was I don't remember the exact numbers, but the statistics were insanity. Like it was like, why would you ever touch that?
Yeah, I'm not looking.
I think. No, what were you saying, Max? Sorry.
Nothing important. You go.
I don't think I was to say anything important either.
Mine was less important, so I insist that you go.
I think the fact that we're pumping a coin called useless speaks for itself, quite frankly. But there is, I don't want to say that there's no money in the trenches, because I wouldn't have expected something like Troll to go above 200 million. This week. I think there is more risk appetite than we think, but there's also so much skepticism after all the crime and liquidity drainage that occurred on Solana that I think there's naturally like people don't want to ape soul shit coins in the same way. So their ceilings are capped. And I think the fact that we're kind of seeing a euthanasia coaster for Sol on chain with like the top runner, but I think we're closer to the end of that than the beginning, if that makes sense. So I think we should be beginning to see on-chain opportunity creep back up here as a whole. Like that, there's been a lot more risk appetite, I feel like, from the trenches now versus like 4 to 6 weeks ago.
Well, Fartcoin went to 2.6 billion. Then Useless went to 400 million in 77 days. And now Bucky went to 50 million. I like, do you see the pattern? 2.6 billion, 400 million, 50 million. I think people are wrecked.
I mean, Troll went to like what, 200 million almost overnight. So I don't want to like overstate the liquidity drainage, but it's clearly there. I think you have to acknowledge that as well.
Yeah, and I think too, like the Solbros, that's like their first cycle, are having a really, really, really hard time adapting. They're like, oh my God, this like dumb meme I found on Pump Fund isn't pumping. Like, what am I gonna do? And on top of that, the people that are adapting are moving to base. Like you've seen base do very, very well, specifically with like more of the fundamental narrative based tokens centered around the new base app. And I am going to continue to harp on this, and it's something I've been harping on for a long time, is that base season is going to be nutty. Like regardless if you like Coinbase or not, it is very, very, very apparent that base is picking up steam right now, and I think it's something to pay attention to.
I know that last part was directed at me.
The Coinbase part?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, with the Coinbase, well, not only with Coinbase, but you also have to think like with Ethereum appreciating in value. I talk about the like shift of focus from like pump fund cabal stuff to more like utility driven narratives, which base caters to more so than Sol. I'm like, it just makes so much sense to me that base is the next like runner.
Dude, this is doing that like, what is it called? The Livermore thing.
Looks nasty.
Dude, it looks
yeah,
it does look nasty.
I think your next stop is like 250 and then reevaluate from there.
Try 125, Prometheus. We're just.
I mean, it's kind of
Lord.
doing what Binance did, right? Where it faked out the price discovery break, which isn't inherently damning, but probably would have liked to not see that.
Yeah, this is disgusting, honestly.
I like your. What'd you say? 250 something.
I said
Yeah.
250 is your next stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, this does kind of look like an altcoin chart, though, in the sense of where you're saying, you know, you need Bitcoin not to nuke further.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, if Bitcoin sneezes, Tommy.
I kind of feel like you could get some asymmetric downside from Coinbase if Bitcoin does sneeze, though.
That term is so funny. Like, why is Bitcoin
Asymmetric?
No, sneezing.
Oh,
Why isn't it sneezing?
Bitcoin is a living, breathing organism, Tucker.
I know.
I wonder what that would mean for ETH. What does ETH coin look like?
What?
Coin.
I
What are you
talked
talking
about that
against
this morning in
Coinbase?
the
I don't
Discord
think I've ever
call. Looks
charged
so bullish. Looks so bullish.
Oh my
starting to
God.
break out. That's going to new highs. I charted that this morning in the Discord call, and I said it's time
Wait,
to sell
did
your
you?
coin for ETH. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks bullish as hell.
Breaking
Yeah.
structure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm noticing this chart, but one thing that, you know, when you actually put them side by side is the fact that on both upward legs, coin went up more than ETH.
On both.
You think
So like keep this chart on actually, and then use the plus function on the left, and then add both coin and ETH down below.
I get what you're saying, Jack. Do you think that stems from just a TradFi repricing effects?
I do not know. I'm just saying that both in August, like from the August low, from the August 2024 low, coin went up more, and since the April low of this year, coin went up more too. And I do not know if this will continue, right? Like if coin will continue to outperform ETH or not. I don't know.
I don't think it will.
I think it might not, because coin doesn't necessarily represent just ETH, right? Coin represents BTC, ETH, Sol, and others. And so it's sort of like maybe you can view coin as like the perfect, you know, top 10 ETF in crypto. And so if ETH dominance will continue to grow here, maybe ETH will outperform truly coin, because, you know, so maybe we can view coin more like a top 10 ETF.
I mean, that's the same line, right? That's 4K ETH on coin. Coin would have gone to like 4,500 before pulling back.
Yeah. Well, and then you can use the one from March 2024, right? And clearly, coin is above it, while ETH isn't.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it will be like this going into the future. My question is, again, I think that's because ETH has been downperforming for a while, but now ETH might be outperforming. And it might be outperforming coin because of that reason, right? Because again, I think it's probably the best to view coin as like the top 10 ETF, because in my opinion, coin went higher because it was dragged by both ETH and Bitcoin and Sol, right? And so, or you know, kind of like that.
Yeah.
I could see. It's almost kind of ironic. I almost wonder now that ETH has the flows that you see Coinbase maybe trade more reflex or more like an altcoin, where ETH maybe trades a little bit more stably, or with more stability rather. I don't know. I guess we'll see, but I kind of feel like ETH coin is going to give a breakout. Maybe not right to all-time highs, but erasing some of that downtrend definitely seems possible.
Can you actually keep the chart as it is, Tucker, and add Bitcoin dominance maybe?
Yes.
Oh, I see what you mean.
And maybe invert that Bitcoin dominance too?
Yep. That's it. Bitcoin dominance falls, ETH coin goes up.
Yeah, I really, because we discussed this many times over, that Bitcoin dominance isn't really alts. It's mainly ETH BTC, but again, not entirely. And coin again is a exchange that represents, not just ETH, not just Bitcoin, not just Sol, but all of them. So I would view really Coinbase stock as like an unofficial top 10 ETF, and therefore it has outperformed ETH since March 24. But going forward, if ETH dominance keeps on growing and ETH keeps on outperforming both Sol and Bitcoin, then I would tend to think that ETH will outperform coin, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, if you're bearish this, then you're bullish ETH coin, technically, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes me want to,
guys,
if Bitcoin is going to break structure and trade lower potentially towards like 100K or whatever, kind of makes me want to buy some coin puts.
This comment gets me horny. I ain't even going to lie.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that it was engineered?
What?
I think so.
Powell coming out as hawkish as he did, which simultaneously cucked the market for a few months, but also obviously now there's a 94% chance of a rate cut. They have the justification now to cut rates, and Powell can save face. I do kind of feel like it is a little bit coordinated in that sense, but I don't know if you guys would feel the same way.
I see that, Tommy. And I think they can actually pull it right this time. Gradual 25% basis point cut over the next 2 years. Don't do it on every single meeting. Do it gradually after. So the market will know. The market will know that like we are in a period of cutting rates. We ain't going to do it quickly, right? We are just going to be easing the economy slowly. The best case scenario, man.
Well, and they need to cut because real rates are actually higher than before we even had our first cut, because inflation is going down. And that's explanatory with why the Russell has sucked as much as it has and how everything sucked as much as it has, because inflation continues to go down and they don't cut rates. It's actually extremely strenuous on the economy.
We're going to get a cut in September, and we're going to get a cut in December, most likely. And that's
needs
perfect.
to happen.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Needs to happen.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this is interesting for sure.
And I think it was Capital Flows. He was saying that us, the markets are kind of set up though for a big disappointment in regards to the new Fed chair with how bullish everybody believes it is going to be if the new Fed chair is like going to come in and just slash rates potentially.
What does he think?
I briefly glazed over it. I did not, get too in depth with it or think about it all that much.
Good.
But
Yeah,
I don't even think rates need to come all the way back down for it to be bullish.
They shouldn't.
At this point.
I don't think rates should be trading much below 2.5%. I think that's like the sweet spot. 2.5, 3% is like a balance.
yeah, especially with how much growth is occurring right now.
Like if you're targeting for 2-3% inflation or CPI, because two different terms, then interest rates should be around that too, slightly probably higher. I think the sweet spot for the market is interest rates at 3%, inflation at 2.5-2%, or again US CPI, and you have really good bullish environment.
What were rates at during the tech bubble?
You can check on TradingView.
You can look though. Yeah, I gotta move my cat off my mouse. All right, there we go.
Is it peanut or is it?
It's peanut. Yeah.
They were 5.5%.
How did you do that already, James?
That knows the Butters lore, but did they know about peanut or Satoshi for that matter?
Yeah, I forgot about Satoshi.
That's right.
I don't know the name of Prometheus's cats, but I know what they look like.
Munchkin and Ronald.
Hey.
Ronald is great, dude.
Yeah. I've got Ronald Weasley because they're both gingers.
Is this not right? Was it not 6.5 during the? Or wait, yeah, that was the tech bubble.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why I can't get any more data, but
you type US enter.
Is that different from effective federal funds rate though?
Slightly.
You know what I can see? I talked about this a few times, but I think we're going to see this continued divergence between like the type of assets that you'd see in the Dow Jones and from big tech, just more money flowing into tech. And if you look at, something like the NASDAQ against the Dow Jones, we're only just now breaking into price discovery. The last 20 years were just a grind back up to the tech bubble highs as far as a relative valuation goes. I think you're almost going to see like maybe some cracks in things like housing and maybe some other markets. Obviously, I'm a bear on Costco, for example, while you see tech get bid. I'm curious to see what that looks like. And I do think the S&P top will probably look kind of similar to the way that it did in the tech bubble, whereas you might see the Qs go more vertical. Because when we look at the tech bubble top on the S&P, it got a lot choppier at the highs than tech did. And I think that's probably because you had this big divergence between defensives and the Dow Jones showing much less strength. Meanwhile, tech was melting up.
What do we think about this? Like are we here? Or are we here?
Tommy, I actually like your thesis that like some currency, issue is the stem for probably some form of, our next breakdown in the global markets. If you look at housing, I don't think it's going to be housing. It's from an asset to liability standpoint. It's not levered nearly to what it once was. People talk about, us being in a bubble, higher valuations in regards to 2000, 2001, but also like circumstances are a little bit different from a fiscal policy standpoint. And then right now, I'm just like, when was the last time we had like a break in a global, significant global currency, right? It'd be interesting if
hopefully not
the
soon.
yen.
If you have one in mind, let me know.
Anyways, guys, I gotta run.
See you, Jagus.
See you guys.
Have a good night, Jackers.
Thank you.
Currency breaking, though. I don't know what would cause that right now. But I can't deny the dollar looks horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just know like whatever it is that is going to cause this next thing. I don't think it's going to be stemmed in the same I don't think it's in the same camp as 01 or like 08. Because everybody looks at like 08, seeing a housing crash again. I'd be pretty shocked if they allow what happened in 08 to occur again. If you look at like the 80s, if you look at the early 70s with oil, I'm like, what is it going to be? I've been thinking about that a lot.
Probably the yen carry trade. But I couldn't tell you when that's going to unwind.
Yeah.
I think at least before the tariff tantrum, that was the linchpin for market liquidity. They're not quite as correlated anymore, which I have to imagine is a good thing, but I don't think good things will occur if maybe it never happens. Chud Jack mode. If or when 140 on USD JPY ever goes, there's going to be a massive unwind in risk. So for that reason, we keep an eye on that pair. But other than that, yeah, there's not really other pairs that I pay attention to from a currency standpoint. So I couldn't tell you if there's going to be another unwind in one of those. But
impossible to predict that.
I think that'd be a catalyst for meme coins, though, ultimately.
Really?
Currency devaluation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whether that's a slow burn or a sudden one,
mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like that's the end game for these meme coins, at least, a handful of them. When your currency basically holds increasingly no value, then you're just going to be throwing it into increasingly valueless assets.
I'm fine if people throw their worthless currency into my assets. Buy my shitcoin.
I do think eventually we'll get UBI, and that will be a big catalyst for meme coins. But
the United States of America is going to have UBI?
I think so. Unemployment is probably going to rise while big tech companies keep going up in value because they're able to be more productive with fewer workers.
Yeah, that's true. You just think AI is going to force everybody to lose their jobs and they'll have to do UBI?
I'm not that guy. Sounds
like that guy, though.
I'm not that guy. I do think that innovation is going to make tech companies more efficient, though, and that could cause unemployment to rise a little bit.
That's exactly what I just said.
I know. I understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't think that's like that's happening next year. I think
I know.
That's pretty far down the line. You would have to assume.
Yeah.
Never doom. I don't want to doom.
Never.
But I do think we get UBI at some point. Or a form of it. Maybe not like hard UBI, but
soft UBI.
Yeah, I don't even know what that looks like.
Yeah.
Maybe we just get more stimmy checks.
Maybe.
What's crazy to think about is in 20 years, there's going to be $1 quadrillion in monetary supply.
Jeez. How long?
20.
20 years?
Yep.
Talk about never dooming. My God. How much do we have circulating right now?
Let's check.
Yeah, you
What,
can.
22 trill.
You're saying that's going to 50x in 20 years.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Why don't you have
Yeah.
your entire net worth in Bitcoin? Would be my question. I'm afraid of the state of the world if that's the case.
It's coming.
It's coming.
All right, Tommy, I think that takes us into time, brother.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot for us to wrap up. We hope you guys enjoyed Market Check today. We discussed a myriad of different things, from Apple to AI stealing your jobs to ETH to Coinbase. Regardless, we hope you enjoyed the show. Maybe took away some discernible alpha to be able to apply to your trading, investing, etc. But if you enjoyed Market Check today, we have discussions like these all throughout the week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, with our typical start time around 11:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure to like and subscribe to the video and the channel if you enjoyed the content. We'll be back later this week. Of course, we've also got some additional programming coming later this week as well. As always, we have Market Talk hosted by King Wabi, which is live Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And Thursday, I believe we have another Mega Spaces, so make sure to tune in for that as well. But Wabi always does a great job hosting Market Talk, so make sure to tune in and check out his show. He's been crushing the market lately. We also have Ape Time with BB tomorrow, so make sure to tune in for that as well. We will try to degen leverage trade this market, have some fun in the process, and maybe do a little bit of entertainment for you guys as well. But that's live at the same time as Market Check, which is 11:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But before we can let you guys run, I'm just going to play a quick ad for the BB Terminal, guys. I will say we've got some cool stuff cooking for you in the background. Can't say what it is yet, but we are hard at work here at BB, and we're going to continue to bring you the best products on the market. So check out this quick clip before we go, guys. Thanks again, as always. And of course, stay safe. We'll see you back on Market Check on Friday.
Tired of outdated trading tools, confused charts, dozens of tabs, endless stress? You're not alone. Introducing BB Terminal, your all-in-one command center for crypto trading. Track your portfolio, monitor the markets, stay ahead, all in one place. From chaos to clarity, from struggle to success. BB Terminal.